Hey, Politics with Laura, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? One thing I must say, nothing is ever what it seems to be. What we see and what it is are two different things. Donald Trump and the Republican Party, we believe is one unit, but however, no. I have to say the Democrats are more together than the Republican Party happens to be. But when it comes to Donald Trump and what he went through with Biden, um, there is a lot there. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the world news. I like the instrumental. I like the instrumental. Okay, let's get down to it. Oh, before I begin, please like, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. I'm getting there slowly but surely. I'm having a little bit being shadow banned. Telling the truth is not a good thing. It's not fashionable, and it doesn't help you at all when you want to make a little bit of money. Nah, they want to put a stop on it. But if I were to sit here and tell you lies, I would be a millionaire by now. Okay, so please like, subscribe. And if you really want to help me out so I can get more things to make my studio better, please do that. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Politics with Laura. Everything helps. And SA, thank you very much for your $20 donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's get down to it. Donald Trump, the trial, the conviction. After the conviction. Now, before I get to after the conviction, this is what I find rather interesting. The Republicans sat back and watched this kangaroo court allowed everything to occur under their democracy. Under them, they allowed the courts, New York, to do this. Now, it came out that Kamala Harris talked to Letitia James, Alvin Braggs, and Fannie Willis. And the three of those prosecutors went after Donald Trump for the hush money. Yes. And I'm going to speak just a little bit. Just let me warm you up a little bit so that we can get into everything else to where everything else makes sense. Stormy Daniels, Donald Trump, everybody heard of her. Everybody knows her. Everybody, not everybody, but everybody knows her. She had an affair, or shall I say a one-nighter, because she was a porn star. She did adult films, and Donald Trump and her had a rendezvous. They exchanged. She provided a service. He paid for the service. Service was done. Business deal, transaction, everything was fine, except 10 years later, when he decided he was going to run for president, that's when Stormy Daniels came out and said, if you don't give me money to shut me up, I am going to tell. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Now, Trump was like, well, no, I'm not paying you nothing. I'm not paying you. No. That deal was done. Why are you coming back knocking on my door? After when married, had a child, children, who knows? She drug her whole family into this. And now she's saying that she has to leave. But she blackmailed him, shook him down, and the vice president, the second highest person in the United States, used their henchmen, the Democrat DAs, to go after Donald Trump while using Stormy Daniels, who blackmailed Donald Trump to begin with, and then turned it into hush money gate. Yes. Who knew the United States became a banana republic? Who knew? But that is exactly what occurred. Now he was indicted. He was indicted 34 charges indictment. Now, invoice ledgers, quite interesting. Emails and checks. All of this was done, and they allowed this to go through. And you had Michael Cohen, his lawyer that hated him. And he went to jail for lying to the courts, perjury, all of those things. Yeah. This is Stormy Daniels. Yeah. And this is her. Fleecing. Oh, what's going on? Why is it not coming up? Oh, there. Fleecing Donald Trump. I'm going to the news. I'm telling any and everybody who would listen to me. And that's exactly what happened. And now, if Donald Trump did not run for president again, none of this would have come out. They would have left sleeping dogs lie. It would have been okay. But that's not what happened. He decided, I'm looking at what Biden's doing. I'm looking at these borders that are open. I'm looking at the Abraham Accord that he ripped up, and now there's fighting. We're in 2 wars. All these issues going on within a period under Biden. Now, you can sit there and say, no, that didn't happen. This right here isn't what occurred. You're misunderstanding the situation. You're not well informed. You could come up with all of those different scenarios, but it doesn't change the fact that we are in 2 wars. We have 30 million people that came across the border, not legally, from all over the world with flip-flops, baby blue blanket, having a tussle with the Coast Guard, trying to protect the borders. Everything, the gates are ripped down. People are running across with their grandmothers and strollers. You name it, it's over here. Everyone is seeking asylum. Everyone. That's under Biden. We got 30 million new people that are unaccounted for all over the place. And we're expected to be able to process 30 million people. But Biden said, if you come, you get free stuff. You get scooters. We'll give you a food and EBT card. You'll be able to have the right to vote. You'll get a driver's license. If you never drove, it doesn't matter if you've never driven anything. You get a driver's license. You get food stamp card. You get free health care. You get free education. You don't speaking English, you don't gotta speak English. We'll teach it. Just come on and vote for me. Did I miss anything? What did I miss? Oh, and if you're an American citizen, if you're a senior, if you're a veteran, you have to get out of your homes and make way for illegal aliens. Oh, there are schools. Oh, those schools have been closed down. Oh, you're in the inner city. Oh, you little jungle babies. Yeah, I don't like you anyway. So we're going to open up those schools for illegal aliens so they'll have a place to live. So one floor can house 500 families. Okay. But am I missing anything? That's what happened in Chicago. They're fighting back. They're fighting back. and their lawsuits. Goodness gracious. But no, that's not where it ends. Recently in Philadelphia, there's so much fighting going on. You had, take that with you, Pride, the Pride Parade, and then you had the pro Palestinians, and they came together. Some parts were okay, other parts, it was a free for all. There was sprinkles, there was scarves. I mean, just fighting a battle royal. I mean, you had suplexes, you had the people's elbow, you had DDTs, you name it, you had it going on there. It was wild. Did I miss anything? Let me know. But now, let me start showing you my, before I go, and keep in mind, not all Republicans are down with Trump. So when people say, hey, you're a MAGA, do you understand that there are three types of Republicans? And if you don't believe me, look it up. There's something called a liberal Republican. Look it up. They stopped saying it, but they exist. You have a moderate Republican, which is Donald Trump. And in fact, he's not even a Republican. He was a Democrat. When he ran, the Democrats didn't want him. He went over to the Republicans. The Republicans didn't want him. He's in no man land. Very true. But you have the ultra conservatives, Republicans, that you mistaken for MAGA. Stop throwing that term around. Just because former President Trump says he wants to make America great, do you know how soft America is? Man, America is so soft, it's not even funny. So when he wants to make America great, America stronger, and you're taking it as, oh well, you're gonna make America racist. You better look at Joe Biden. Check out his past. And you talk about Trump, oh, he's a racist. And I keep on asking people, racism is an action. What has he done? So before you start calling me a coon, the white man's bed wench, some fool called me a Sambo. You don't know what you're talking about. That's over in Africa and the Middle East. That's what they call them over there. Not over here. I'm an American. So, calm down with all the stupidity. But you have the right-wing Republicans, very far right, so far right that right can't get any righter. I mean, okay? And then you're saying that's Donald Trump. No, he's middle of the road. Keep in mind, before Donald Trump got into politics, he was a Democrat, and you had people he was in so many songs back in the 80s. On My Own by Bobby Brown, showing Donald Trump. I mean, you had him in WWE or WWF. He was in there. Everyone loved him as long as he was a Democrat and a businessman. But once he crossed over, something different. So keep that in mind. And remember, he's the middle of the road. You haven't even gotten to the people you want to call racist. These guys are so far right that you don't belong in their club. Look, white people, you don't belong in their club either. You may have the skin color, but you don't have their country club color that is green. You don't belong there at all. Keep in mind, this country, the only people that had the right to vote were rich white landowners, not you. So when you start talking about racism, you might want to look at those guys because they wanted women, feminists, they wanted you barefoot and pregnant. That was it. That was it. But you don't want to look at that. You just want to look at, okay, Yeah, Donald Trump's a racist. He's you don't know what you're talking about. You don't. Now, if you really want to check out a racist on the Democratic side, and they have more of a history, check out Joe Biden. He has been in politics for what, 47 years? And yeah, Jungle Babies. Yeah, let me see. Wait a minute. How you doing, American Girl? Biden is so full of bull. Trump 2024. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And all of a sudden, and then even during debates, Kamala Harris talked about his he voting for busing. I mean, come on. All of a sudden we have amnesia. And just because he said, "Oh, I was a stark racist," yeah, that wasn't my better time. So, my bad. But vote for me, and never did anything to change it. But I digress. Let me go ahead and get into my proof. All right, the Republicans. Now you're going to see three different type of Republicans. Okay, three different types. So no one was caping for Trump at all. They left him hanging, dangling in the wind, fighting Stormy Daniels and all the Democratic to be coming after him. And what did he get any help? No, he didn't. But let me go ahead and show you because this just came out. I'm sorry, wrong one. I do apologize. Oh, wrong article. Okay, here. All right, here. Okay, Republicans join Trump's attack on the justice system in a campaign uh, uh, vengeance after guilty verdict. Now, don't let the title fool you. Please don't. Let's go ahead and get into it real quick. Let me see. Anybody leave a message? No. Okay. All right, here. Embracing Donald Trump's strategy of blaming the U.S. justice system after this historic guilty verdict, Republicans in Congress were fervently enlisting themselves in his campaign of vengeance of the political retribution as the GOP reclaims the White House. Now, a lot of the Republicans, the GOP, left him dangling. Okay, almost no Republican official had stood up to suggest Trump should not be the party's presidential candidate for the November election. In fact, some have sought out to hasten his nomination. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Doggone it. Sorry about that. That was not. Ah, man. Oh, doggone it. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, almost no Republican official has stood up to suggest that Trump should not be the party's presidential candidate for the and that right there is true for the November election. That's true. But did you look at the lineup? The people that were running for they're like um, Marianne, what's her last? Williamson. You had that. Okay, in fact, some have sought to hasten. Okay, I already said that. Okay, in fact, some have sought to hasten his nomination. A few others in the legitimacy of the New York state. And remember, the few others dare to defend the legitimacy of the a New York State court heard the hush money case, and the 12 jurors unanimously rendered the verdict. Phew. So they're starting to let it known that there is a issue there. The the Republican Party, they are not together. They are fractured, and they're showing that the Democratic Party, no matter how crazy they get, but they come together as one. All right. All right, but and those Republicans who express doubt that Trump's innocence or political viability, including his former hawkish national security advisor John Bolton and the top tier Senate candidate Larry Hogan of Maryland, were instantly bullied by the former president's enforcer and the top, and told to leave the party. I mean, it was crazy. But here, the one who's wild and reckless and acts like a fool, okay? Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, said she's voting for Trump whether he is free, he's a free man, or a prisoner of Biden's regime. Now, she is one of very few. Marjorie Taylor Greene, no matter whether if you love her or hate her. Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Trump's, okay, he's in California. Yep. I got to see if I can find some info on that. Whether if you like him or not, right? That right there, put that to the side. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm sorry, Marjorie Taylor Greene, whether if you like her or not, and she does act like a fool. She does. But you also have Matt Gaetz. He put himself and 7 other senators, congressmen, put themselves on the chopping block, got rid of, oh my goodness, Speaker Johnson, not Speaker Johnson, Speaker, help me out here, Mick, not McDaniels, help me out here. The first speaker, Republican speaker, I actually liked him. But Matt Gaetz was like, he's too compromised. He made so many promises to everyone that he's not keeping up with it. And Matt Gaetz and 8 others had him removed, and it was chaos for about almost 2 months before they got, what's his name, McHenry. He was temporary, then they put him off. Thank you, McCarthy. Thank you. The first speaker, McCarthy, I actually liked him. I mean, because he handled the press. He gave him the business. He did. I liked him. And now we have Speaker Johnson that Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, no, he's siding with them. He's doing everything. We don't want to give any more money to the ukulele country. He's allowing that. And he's siding with all the Democrats. And Democrats are like, come on, dummy. Come on. We need you. We fractured. So you have an ultra conservative, then you have the middle of the road, that's MAGA, and then you have people that are moderate, dare I say, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, oh, politics with Laura, what that? She's ultra conservative. No, she's silly. She's silly, and her silliness gets ahead of her. I mean, it does. Sometimes what comes out of her mouth, it goes from here out. It doesn't stop. It doesn't process. It doesn't filter. And no discernment. It goes whoosh, right on out. And then you have somebody like Matt Gaetz. To me, he's like a moderate. Now he goes from here to here. When he told those women who were down there that were pro-choice, and he was like, well, we're trying to stop this so that you can have a chance of having a family because you're not that attractive looking. Oh my goodness, that was too fun. It was fun. Okay, I have a great sense of humor. That was funny. It was. They didn't like it because it was pointing them out. So, hey, in politics, you have to have thick skin, but you have that going on. We'll go back to the article. Okay, here she also posted, like I said, she's liberal. She also posted the upside down American flag that has come to symbolize "Stop the Steal," a movement Trump started with allies before J Janetto 6. Janetto, you know what I'm talking about. You see it right here. Janetto 6 attack on the US Capitol. So here, so after the felony, so as you can see, it is a divided party. It is divided. Unfortunate, but true. So they're hanging on by a thread. They are. Now, Hunter Biden, transferring to Hunter Biden. Now, this right here is quite interesting because Hunter Biden, let me go ahead and put it like this. Hunter Biden falls into all of the categories of Joe Biden's crime bill. Every single last, he checks all the box. Cracketh, yes. Gunneth, yes. Oh my goodness. The rest of them, okay? Checks them all. He has not spent one day in jail, not one. In fact, his father set aside the crime bill that he sponsored, and he had some dealings with crafting it along with Hillary Clinton, while demonizing a certain segment of the population, calling them super predators. Well, it just so happens if you look on that laptop and you check out Hunter Biden, he checks that box too. He checks them all. Every single last one of them. Now in DC, you can't have that. You can't have the bang bang. And even and plus even the money that he got from overseas that he never reported to IRS. I mean, he got a sweetheart deal. So my thought is this: if you had cracketh and you had a gunneth in this country, you got arrested, you got time, you got all that. Hunter didn't. So we have something called the human rights. What you do for one, you do for all. So if Hunter Biden gets off of this, there needs to be a massive lawsuit to sue the government because he did all those things. He's on record doing it. He's on video doing it. All those things is videotaped. DOJ has it. The courts have it. And they're doing nothing about it because that's Joe Biden's son. When this all came about, he was over in California in a mansion, $25,000 a month because he was stressed out. How many people went through the justice system, going through the court system, and going to jail for less than what he did? But nothing's done. But that's okay because that's Hunter Biden, because you're supposed to hate Trump, not look at his policies and not look at what Joe Biden is doing, not what he has done and how he's letting this sort of go, try to push it under the rug. But identity politics, and then you have the liberals that are going to shout you down, argue you down by saying Trump is a racist while he's getting away with this. Yeah. But let me go ahead and back to the article. All right. Only in this country this foolish stuff happens. Okay, here the House Republicans issue a criminal referral against James and Hunter Biden alleging false testimony. Now, when you lie to Congress, they'll throw you under the jail. Here, you had Hunter Biden that was there and decided to get up and walk out. That's exactly what he did on a couple of different occasions. But here, this came out yesterday. House Republicans issued a criminal referral Wednesday against President Joe Biden's son and brother, accusing them of making false statements to Congress as a part of the GOP year-long impeachment inquiry. The Republican leader of the House Oversight and Accountability and Judiciary and Ways and Means Committee sent the letter to the Justice Department recommending the prosecution of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and accusing them of making making a conscious effort to undermine the House's investigation. Abe Lowell, Hunter Biden's attorney, said in his statement that the referral was nothing more than a desperate attempt by Republicans to twist Hunter Biden's testimony. They can distract from the failed impeachment inquiry, interference with the trial. Now, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and backtrack on something. Let's backtrack. Come on, back it up. Back it up. Check this out. The DOJ decided not to prosecute Joe Biden for any of the things what he has done. Not the Russian waters, not the interference with the ukulele country as a vice president, okay? And as a senator that he was doing things over there. He confirmed it as the vice president and then put it into action as president. Overthrew that country. But no. And then getting money. Let me see if I have that. Let me bring this up. Let me show you some receipts because you don't believe me. Let me go ahead and show you. Let me find that because I have the check. They put it out there. Where's the check at? And he's receiving this money, not reporting it to the IRS. Now, if I am $2.50 short paying my taxes, the tax person would be at my house knocking on the door with a gun telling me I better pay. I better pay. Telling me I better you. If you are 2 cents short, they are freezing your assets. Look at that. $200,000. That's 2018. Now they're paying that to themselves. Now who does it? Who does that? Sarah and James Biden, payable to Joseph R. His middle name is Robinette. Poor thing. Biden for $200,000. They were having this money through all these different subsidiaries because he was a part of Burisma. Man, check out my other videos because I get into it. I show you paperwork. I show you documentation from different countries. He became a board member of Burisma, and I can't remember his name right now. He's like, "Oh, you are Joe Biden's son. He's the vice president." And meanwhile, Joe Biden has all of these classified documents since a senator. And people try to get documents and they chase him down and get it. You have to be in this little room. My thing is this: how did he get all this information as a senator? How did he get it as a vice president and having these documents all over his houses? And his son, Hunter Biden, is over there making deals with all these different people, whether if it's a ukulele country, whether if it's the red dragon country, whether if it's rushing waters, all these areas over there have businesses and they want Joe Biden's attention. That was sanctioned by Obama. No one's talking about that. Joe Biden could not have done a thing if it weren't for Obama sanctioning it. Now there's a war. If you go back, look at what was it, 2018? There's a woman by the name of Victoria Nuland. She was over there in the ukulele country. She was sent to overthrow to get rid of Poroshenko. But let me get back to what I was saying. So, yeah, Hunter Biden. So Joe Biden, impeachment, okay, and so Joe Biden, so lawyers, Paul Fishman echoed the sentiment, calling it baseless partisan action, reiterated that his client has always maintained that Joe Biden never had any involvement with his business dealings. But you just saw the check. You just saw the check. You just saw. Look at that. How did he not have any dealings with it when this is a check from his brother for $200,000? That is Sarah and James Biden Jr. or Sr. But Joe Biden had nothing to do with it. That's a canceled check. He cashed that check, took that money. Okay. So here, the referral to the Attorney General Merrick Garland and the prosecutor counsel David Weiss, you got to pay special attention to him, added to the legal charges facing Hunter Biden, who is now on trial in the federal courts in Delaware for 3 felonies charging stemming from the purchase of a Bang Bang in October of 2018. The 54-year-old has been accused accused by prosecutors for lying to the federally licensed Bang Bang dealer, making false statements claiming that the application saying that he was not a rug user and legally having a Bang Bang for 11 days. I mean, it goes on. And on Capitol Hill, the Republicans pursued their wide range investigations into Hunter Biden, separate from the federal case trying to tie the Democratic president to his son's business dealings. From Hunter Biden to James Biden sat for hours-long interview with the lawmakers, even as they failed to uncover the evidence directly implicating the wrongdoing. Well, I'll show you again. Oh, wait a minute. You got a question? Thank you. Yeah, you're right. The proof is in the pudding. And you saw the $200,000 check. What? You can't make this stuff up. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. You can't make it up. Joe Biden of any wrongdoing. So the Representative James Smith, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, said testimony from the IRS whistleblower shows that Hunter Biden lied to Congress at least 3 times in his February 28th deposition. I mean, it goes on. But here's the thing. Where is it at? I mean, it goes on. I mean, he just continues lying. Goes, I think the justice system needs to look at that and act accordingly. When you lie to Congress, that is a serious violation of the law. It is a felony. James, Republican of Missouri, the president's son should not be treated any differently than any other American. Very true. And the justice system, which will ultimately decide whether to take criminal referral, and he declined to comment. So it goes on. So far, nothing really has been done to him. But since the former President Donald Trump's conviction on charges in New York, Republican leader has assailed the justice system or department for what they claim to be a two-tiered system of justice targeting conservatives, which Donald Trump is not. They played down the department's current prosecution of Hunter Biden and the facts that other prominent Democrats have faced federal investigation during the Joe Biden presidency. So it's like, oh, wait a minute. American Girl says, thank you, Laura. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you very much. And thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you. And it goes on. It goes on. So is Hunter Biden going to pay for anything that he has done? No. They are trying to get the laptop in. They're fighting tooth and nail to keep that laptop out because it ties him to the bang bang. It ties him to the companies over there, Burisma. It ties his father, the emails, everything. It's going to show a criminal organization that happened at the highest level of American government. The corruption is top tier. But you have Donald Trump who gets fleeced by a corn star that they had an arrangement, and then they weaponized the 3 Democratic DAs to go after him and get a conviction for stuff that oh my goodness, for stuff that and you could agree or disagree, really doesn't matter, that he had really no firsthand knowledge of it. Stormy Daniels say, hey, I want money. You better give me, even though, yeah, we did that back then, but you're going to pay me money. I'm going to tell everybody. And then Cohen pays her $160,000. Look, hey, Stormy, businessmen, I'm going to say this to you again, Stormy, until you get it. Let me bring up your picture, Stormy. Stormy, businessmen are notoriously cheap. They find a deal. They try to get 50% off of something that's on clearance, and then they'll pay. Now, Stormy, if you want money, go after Democrats. Okay? Look, you missed what London Roberts did. That right there is Hunter Biden's baby's mama. She's getting $20,000 a month. That's how you do it. If you're going to be in that industry, if you're going to fleece people, at least do it right. Embarrass your entire family. Your husband, he can't even hold his head up high. What's wrong? I'm going to leave it alone. Everything's your family. You can leave it alone. But then articles say that Hunter Biden admitted to smoking cracketh. He admitted, it says, look, he looked wore out. If you have a family member or somebody that you know that does rugs, especially that rug, that right there is a normal look of somebody that's coming down. Look tired, look like a dried up prune. And look, okay, and that's not a cigarette, that is cracketh. But let's go ahead and get into let's go ahead and get into the asylum seekers. All right. Look, quite simple. When you come to this country, you come to it right. When you go to any country, you go right. You let them know who you are, that you are you an asset to the country that you're going to. Now, if you get on a plane, got your flip flops, you got your little light blue blanket, and you get out and you run across a border and you're not going to the port of entry, but you're going to where you want to go, to me, right, there's a bunch of bad news. You come in breaking the law. You left breaking the law. I'm not going to say you left breaking the law, but you come breaking the law. And coming into any country is a violation of the country's laws. And you come and say, well, look, I ran from my country and I'm here. Look, if anyone who should be swimming again in the Rio Grande coming here is Prince Harry. he is being truly prosecuted by his family and they're the monarch. He could say, oh, my family's a sovereign of the UK and the Commonwealth, and this is what they're doing to me. But I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay. But here you got asylum seekers. And now President Biden all of a sudden says, okay, I want to do something about this border. Oh no. Okay. I'm going to do something about this border. I was struggle streaming for a second. And this is the new thing that I am doing. This is the new thing. Here. Now he's saying that a new hurdle for asylum seekers, 4 hours to find a lawyer. You yeah, I don't want to say ambulance chasers. You got people standing down there at the border, standing right there, sitting down. They got a makeshift, they got a makeshift desk right there. They got a little a power source. Somebody rented a little generator. All of them got their computers right there. Little fans, stuff over there at the border waiting. Okay, what's your name? You got a lawyer. Okay, come on now. You got 4 hours to find a lawyer. They're right there. They're right there waiting. But let me get to the article. All right, migrants who want protection in the United States are now facing another hurdle, even after President Joe Biden announced a near total ban on asylum. Well, Joe, Joe Ski, check this out. President Biden, you got 30 million people. You need to put a ban on asylum. You got 30 million people that have to be processed. Are they real asylum seekers? The next time when they are called on a court date, their grandchildren will be born. Come on, that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But starting Wednesday, migrants who come into the United States illegally have 4 hours to find a lawyer. If they want to argue, they should be an exception to the sweeping restrictions of asylum of Biden's announced Tuesday. If you cannot find a lawyer, You have to make a credible case on your own or be turned back immediately. Migrants previously had 24 hours or more to find a lawyer. You can't make this stuff up. And the way asylum worked was you had to go to a host country. You're coming in as refugees. You go to a host country. The host country will hold you and then process who you are. That takes a while. That may take maybe a year or two just for you to go through all the background checks because you say that my country is tyrannical, corrupt. I can't live there. Not that I can't find a job and I want to work. No. People are, stuff flying out the sky, all these things. And that's not what they're doing. They're just coming to the country saying, hey, I want asylum because my country, I didn't bring no ID because I just have these pair of flip-flops on and I have this light blue blanket. And yeah, I did throw dukes with the National Guards over there. And yeah, I did run across the border, jumped over the fence to get here. And I knew the port of entry was down there, but I didn't want to be in that line with those other people because I am more important because I'm an asylum seeker. You can't make this stuff up. You truly can't. But okay. The tighter sometime constraints was laid out in an email from John Lafferty, the head of the asylum in the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, had the officers who carried out Biden's executive action, didn't go through Congress, but his executive order, which temporarily shut down the asylum request at the border. Despite Biden's order, there are still some limited ways for migrants to enter the country. People who legitimately are in fear of being tortured. Yes, Prince Harry, have you checked out his family? Or prosecuted in their home country can still seek protections in the United States using programs other than asylum, but those programs have much higher bar for eligibility. Critics say the 4-hour time limit could make it impossible to clear that bar. Migrants who have been opposed to several traumas in days, migrants who have been exposed to severe trauma in days before they entered the U.S. officials should not be immediately forced into what could be the more important interview of their life without getting a meaningful chance to rest, to get help. What? Come on, wait a minute. I mean, this, oh man, this. You can't make this up. Now they came up here. They knew they were coming up here. Had no money. Dragged their children. Coming up here. Drag their children up here. And then it's like, you got 4 hours to find a lawyer. 4 hours. And they need a break. I've been walking all the way up here from down yonder. And I've been walking up here. It's dangerous. I walked 5 countries. And I'm tired. I need a rest before this interview that I had, the interview of my life. How many of us get that? When we knowingly apply for a job and we're going to go on an interview, we do everything to get there. And then it's like, oh, well, look, I need a rest before I do this interview. They'll say next. Aaron Reichlin Melnick, the policy director of the American Immigration Council. An official of the Department of Homeland Security said for the 4-hour time limit was meant to speed up the process 4 times processing time for the notoriously backlogged system. Yeah, you got 30 million people here that came here illegally. And everyone is an asylum. Everyone is an asylum seeker. Everyone. If that's the case, if you have all these people that are asylum seekers because their country's jacked up, go under who? Let who take over your country so that you can feel safe in your country. How about that? Because who's going to do that? Yes. Who? The OWL, the World Health Organization? Yeah. They can do that. They can take over your country, take over your government, and then they can give you rules and regulations that you can live by. But instead of getting up and 30 million people leaving, coming to the United States, we can't even forward what we have. We can't. Whatever we had, whatever leftovers we have, gone. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Arrivederci. And more on more on more on. And more and more and more. Okay, so there. And still, requests for existing extensions be granted only in extraordinary circumstances, the person said, asking for anonymity to discuss the new rules. Biden's tough new policy on immigration came as he faces intense political pressure, including from within his own party, to crack down on illegal immigrants. Yeah, because if you look at New York City, I did a video a couple of months ago in Venezuela. They gave a listing. Someone in Venezuela did a study on all the states in the United States. What is the highest income it would take to be an individual, a single person, to live comfortably in the United States by each state? Oh yeah, check that video out. Check it out. It points it out. And it shows that this was an active, the Venezuelan government had an active role in having its people leave. Now, what people are leaving Venezuela? It's sure enough are not the people that are in college. It's sure enough is not the wealthy. And it's not all of the poor. They put it into their heads, well, I'm going to go and get the American dream. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. I see Baywatch. I see what they got on TV, and what's on TV is real. But what's on TV here in Venezuela is not real. They can't make that connection. I talk to illegal aliens all the time. I live in a sanctuary city, and they all say, I come to work. I asked them, you can't work you can't work in your country? Oh no, the government's corrupt. I said, let me help you out with something. You say your government's corrupt. The people have to pay taxes to have the government run. If you are not working, if you are not a viable person in your country, and all of a sudden you're going to come to the United States and be a viable person, people don't change their spot. People don't change their spots like that. If you didn't study in high school, you did everything but study, and all of a sudden you go to college and all of a sudden you're going to study, you haven't had a history of doing that. It doesn't snap on like that. And when you say, well, they come and work, what work are they doing? Did they run across the border with degrees? I'm an engineer. I can add to your country. I can build infrastructure. I didn't see people running across the border with high school diplomas. I didn't see people running across the border with degrees. I saw people with flip-flops, tank tops, and and light blue. I gotta find I got a little short. I gotta find that short and play that when I talk about it. And you might say, politics with Laura, you're mean. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. If you don't have a history of doing for your own country, what makes you think you're going to have a history of doing it here? You could only go according to the pattern of behavior you have demonstrated. If you did nothing there, you're going to do nothing here. If you maintain poverty in your country, you're going to maintain poverty here. It's just that poverty looks different from here to there. The same thing, poverty. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. Which the potential, the presidential election just 5 months away, polls show many Americans are in favor of strict enforcement at the southern border. Oh, now you get it, because now you see the writing on the wall. Biden's Republican rival, former President Donald Trump, has made illegal immigrants the centerpiece of his campaign during his term in the White House. Trump also tried to slash the amount of times immigrants had to find a lawyer. But a federal judge ruled the time that the head of the U.S. Citizenship and Naturalization Services, the agency that put the order in place, was not lawfully appointed to his role, so his decision was struck down. Wow. Critics say that Biden is adopting the tactics of Trump, but Biden's administration officially says the president is trying to bring much needed order at a moment when a number of people crossing the border illegally has reached historic highs, and that is under Biden's watch. We can never walk that back. Never, ever, 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 never, ever, never, never. But let me see. I have one last. Now, in France, Biden aims to deepen the transatlantic ties with the trip to France for D-Day. We all remember D-Day in France when World War II was over. Remember that? When you had the American soldiers walking through France saying you are free. Germany was beat. All the Allied forces got together and was able to overcome. There's so much I can't say on this channel. Oh my God. I get dinged for everything. So to overcome it. So how can this come on? So here, Paris, France. Paris, U.S. President Joe Biden touched down in Paris on Wednesday for a travel making the 80th anniversary of D-Day and engaging in a state visit hosted by the French President Emmanuel Macron. Woo, he has a lot of problems. He's losing his his African colonies. They're like, we're tired of giving you money, and then we have to beg for the money that we give you in a bank, and you're taking our resources, processing it, and then making us pay for it. He got a lot going on there. So, but the task at his hand will be far loftier as Biden seeks to deepen ties with the transatlantic allies in Europe, faces a re-energizing rushing waters inside the ukulele, the looming threat of the red dragon, and the risk of posing by election that could upset the current geopolitical order. Biden really believes there is an inflection point in history. John Kirby, spokesman for the National Security Council, said its ties with geopolitical and changing the challenges are being presented to us around the world. In Normandy, Biden and other Western leaders will recount one particular challenge facing Allied forces in June 6, 2024. June 6, 1944. The largest military invasion in the sea's history, which counted for more than 10,000 casualties and became a pivotal moment in the war and against Nazi Germany. This year's anniversary is likely the last major I can't pronounce the word, commemoration with which D-Day veterans, now nearly 100 years old, were handed with a bear witness. My grandfather was there. He was in Iwo Jima. From Point du Hoc, my French is terrible, which separates Omaha and Utah beaches where the American troops landed, Biden will deliver, a speech on the power of democracy and Friday, learning the visceral imagery from the day to talk about the men that gave their lives in pursuit of democracy. Now that would be true if the United States was a democracy. Why don't people get that? Why don't people get that? It's very easy to combat that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Now, we can't say democracy. We can't say republic, and we can't say God. If you say God, everybody's offended. Oh, don't say Jesus Christ. Oh, explosion. But this is a Christian country. Okay. All right. Go figure. Go figure. When you come to a country and you're from a different country, a different culture, a different religion, I'm going to leave that right there. They're going to mess around, take me down. Somebody's going to get upset, complain. She said, let me stop. All right. But Biden's over there doing that. D-Day. That's a lot. There's a lot to process because there's a lot going on. A whole lot. This country is being pulled in so many different ways. We are in every which way but loose. Over there. So much going on. And you could just take a rock and throw it and hit a problem. So what do you think? Please like, subscribe. Please leave a message, whether if you agree or disagree. Instead of calling me names, please tell me where you disagree. That would be great. Instead of saying Hey, Politics with Laura, you lied. Instead of saying I lied, write down what I lied about. That would be great. And when you do that, add sources backing you up to refute what I'm saying. I showed you mine. Send me a link. Tell me what paragraph. I'll read it. I'm naturally curious anyway. I'm a naturally curious person. I'll read it. On that note, please like, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 5,000, actually 10,000 subscribers. I'm doing my very best. And if you want to, please donate. Politics with Laura, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, trying to get better equipment and eventually work on my studio. On that note, I want to thank you for stopping by.